Hello. Welcome to Hispanics in Philanthropy's information webinar for the Lderes Fellowship. This is for what is going to be now Cohort 6. So welcome everybody. My name is Stephanie Roman. I use she, her pronouns, and I am the program manager for the leadership and learning at Hispanics in Philanthropy. Yeah, let's get started. Today, we're going to go over a few things pertaining to the fellowship. We're going to go over a high-level review of HIP, the imperative for the Lderes Fellowship now. Is it a good fit for you? The Lderes network, the timeline, the cost and the social return on investment. And then we will also talk about when you will have the opportunity to be able to connect with us and to be able to ask any questions that aren't covered during this information webinar. I know that we are all across different states, and so even though we may have some of the information, we totally understand that you may have specific questions, and so we're going to schedule a separate time for us to meet to go over that. So first thing is we want to tell you a little bit about HIP. Hispanics in Philanthropy started as a group of Latino program officers in philanthropy with the aim to bring more Latinos into the field and be able to channel resources into the Latino community. Since then, HIP has evolved, and now it has become a transnational network of funders. We also have an office in Mexico City, which I think is really important to name because we are one of the only organizations that does work transnationally in that form. HIP's mission is to strengthen Latino leadership, influence, and equity by leveraging philanthropic resources. And our vision for social justice is for shared prosperity across the Americas. And to advance our mission and vision, we follow our HIP values, but also 4 strategies to democratize philanthropy, channel Latino influence and thought leadership, build Latino power, and mobilize bigger and better resources. And so the fellowship actually falls under building Latino power, building and leveraging intersectional power on a local and a national level, expanding and sharpening the narrative that's inclusive of race, gender, and other diversities to strengthen Latino voice and visibility in philanthropy, and of course to strengthen the ecosystems of Latinos in the social sector. And so to give you a little bit about what the fellowship is, the Lderes Fellowship works in a way to build and leverage the intersectional power by expanding your knowledge and changing the narrative of what it means to be a Latino leader. This is really important in our moment in time, because for us who have been in philanthropy for 3 to 5 years, we understand that systemic issues are deeply rooted within the same worlds that we work in. And so what we aim to do and what you will have accomplished at the end of the fellowship is to increase your awareness on your role in transforming the social and philanthropic sector, increasing your agency to take action towards achieving personal goals, and also promoting equity within the sector, gain a network of deep, meaningful peer relationships nationally that foster alliance building and professional growth, and finally develop your ability to take care of your physical and mental and spiritual health, because the reality is that this work is heavy, it's draining, and as Latinos, we have to remember to practice resiliency. And so this year's cohort, we're very excited because it's going to be totally hybrid in the sense that we're going to be able to adapt according to, what the world allows for. So all of the activities that we have planned, some are in person and some are virtual, but above everything else, safety and keeping everyone safe is going to be our number one concern. And I just want to take a quick moment to recognize Ana Maria Villagos, who is our president and CEO. She has been at HIP since 2018, and since then has really advanced not just our leadership work, but also our racial equity work, so that our internal practices and field-facing work really center around equity, but also that we are going through the journey along with everyone else. And so, yeah, big shout out to Ana Mari, who you will for sure meet at some point in the fellowship. All right, so the big question is the Lderes Fellowship a good fit for you? And really, you are the only person that can determine whether it is or isn't. What we've done is we've put together a few bullets to help define what we mean when we say a leader, yes. So a person who has or wants to step into their courage, that works in the intellectual and emotional complexities of the intersections that we all live in, including race, education, gender, identity, ability, language, access, all of that. A committed practitioner to learning with and from others, person whose curiosity informs future actions to change social conditions. We also look that applicants are mid-career, meaning that you have 2 to 3 years experience professionally engaging in philanthropic systems. You don't necessarily have to be in a foundation or an affinity group. You could be in a nonprofit organization and have experience engaging in philanthropic systems. If you are new to philanthropy, like this is your first year working in it, maybe it's your second year, we definitely encourage you to do a fellowship, but we would actually ask that you go to EPIP, Emerging Practitioners in Philanthropy. They have a fellowship, and the name is totally slipping my mind, but they have a fellowship for entry-level professionals that you should definitely look into. And finally, a person who represents the beautiful diversity of Comunidad, including Indigenous, Afro, women, differently abled bodies, and LGBTQ Latinos. So if these bullets kind of fall in line with who you are and how you identify, then yes, the fellowship is a good fit. Currently, we have 177 fellow alums who have gone through the fellowship program. They are across the Americas. We have folks, of course, in the US, but we also have folks who participated in the fellowship in Mexico, Puerto Rico, and Hawaii. So it's very exciting to see how the network has grown, and the strength in which the network is really fostering outside of the fellowship is great too. So here is a timeline of what you can expect. Applications launched officially March 15th. Applications close May 14th. This is going to be, they close at midnight Pacific Standard Time. So you can officially start filling out your application as of March 15th. And then, and we really actually encourage you to open up the applications early, because there is some critical thinking, critical analysis questions that have to be done, which can take time. Not everybody learns the same. And so if you are someone who likes to have time to really think and sort of wordsmith, refine your work, we definitely encourage you to visit the applications early. So again, applications close May 14th, and then after that, they will go into a review process. This will be through the month of June, and then applicants will be notified whether they were selected for the fellowship, or if we have some recommendations or feedback around your application in mid-July. The regional orientation, which will be the first time, the first chance that you will all have a chance, get to meet each other and the consultants as well as HIP staff, will be at the regional orientation. This is scheduled for September 13th, 14th, and 15th. So this is the first in-person or virtual event that we'll have. We are scheduling this to be concurrent with our HIP yearly conference. So again, we're going to do our best to be fully transparent in terms of whether we can meet in person or not. Of course, prioritizing people's safety first. And so we will give you more details around that, but just please know that nothing is final. We're trying to stay as adaptable as possible. The opening retreat will be scheduled for October. And then from January through June, we will do community learning sessions. We call those communities of practice. And we will also be offering coaching sessions, both one-on-one and group coaching. And then in June, we will have our closing retreat, already talking about that. And then in July, we will be introducing you into the Lderes network. And so this is a quick glance at what the timeline for the fellowship for cohort 6 looks like. If we don't have any dates on there, it's because they've not been decided or confirmed, but just know that by the time we get into the regional orientations, we will have more definitive dates, because we ask that you block them off, give notification to employers, all that good stuff. All right, so let's talk about cost. Let's talk about the return on your investment as well. The tuition to participate in the fellowship is $3,500. That will not change whether we are able to meet in person or if we have to meet virtually. That will stay the same. What HIP is committed to is to pay for the wellness and the resilience practices, the faculty and the coaches, the lodging and the food, any materials, books that we ask for you to have to be able to participate in the fellowship will cover access to the coaches as well, facilitated learning community spaces, and also the network. And so this is really, I know that this is something that everybody asks and is worried about. And we really just want to encourage you that whether or not you know exactly how you would pay for this tuition, apply anyways. Let that be the last thing you worry about, because what we have found in the last 5 cohorts is 80% of the time, most employers will cover professional development and tuition cost. There have been times where a lead or an applicant, if you will, didn't really know how to ask for that investment. And so we're here for you. We're gonna help figure it out together. And we also do offer scholarships to help cover the cost. And also we've had fellows who have paid out of pocket. Now we know that that's not everybody within everybody's capacity, and that's definitely not what we expect, but we do want you to take that leap of faith and submit the application, even if you don't know exactly how you're going to pay for the fellowship. So yeah, just think about that for a little bit. And again, if you have questions, please know that we'll have time to connect and to be able to answer those questions. In terms of what you are receiving in return for that tuition, I think that there are both, like the tangible things and then the intangibles. And so socially, social capital, what you will gain are lifelong relationships, peers who are not just experiencing the same struggles, traumas, and also moments of joy in the field. That is something that by far holds the most value. In terms of professional development, we will, of course, be offering coaching. We will be offering frameworks that you can use within your organizations to help move the needle towards equity, including things such as having courageous conversations or, combating with your own imposter syndrome. So on top of that, we will have professional media opportunities. Oftentimes, we get approached by magazines, websites, blog posts, different things like that. That where outside organizations are seeking leadership to participate in speaking. Speaking engagements or to help with interviews. And so there are lots and lots of professional media opportunities that do pop up after the fellowship. So that's a great way also to leverage the platform and also to gain more experience for your own career path and the things that you want to accomplish. We do offer ongoing access. Increased access to leverage resources, collaboration, intellectual, financial, leadership, and human development skills that increase your self-awareness, agency to influence and transform philanthropy, work towards the conditions necessary for people of color leaders to thrive in the social sector, and ultimately become an effective advocate for the well-being of your community. In addition to that, I think that one of the things that I love the most about the fellowship is our self-care practice and our commitment to holding space for that. Not only is self-care and wellness interwoven into the curriculum and when we meet, but these tools are, and the presentation of them are set up in a way that you can take them and use them whenever you feel triggered or whenever you feel activated, and just need that moment of, maybe to breathe. And so, yeah, that is a long list of things. And there's maybe more. And so what will happen next is if you have any questions right off the bat, you can of course email me. My name is Stephanie Roman. You can also email Mireille Jose, who is the senior programs manager for leadership and learning. She is also the one who is leading the fellowship. You will meet her at a different time. But if you do have any questions, please reach out to us via email. We are happy to help you. In addition to this, for anybody who signs up for the information webinar, we're going to be scheduling a Q&A session. I believe it's going to be March. I'm not going to say anything because I'm not 100% sure, but we will reach out to everybody so you can have the dates for the information webinar. Or actually, give me 1 second, and I might be able to look it up. Yes, so the information webinars are not the information webinars, but the one-on-one Q&As are going to be March 30th, which is a Tuesday, and April 7th, which is a Wednesday. So March 30th and April 7th will be the days that we have another Zoom session so you can ask questions one-on-one. But until then, I hope you have a great day and see you soon.